That's right. Next slide, please. So instead of revamping Mercury, what Ford does is they choose to do something different. They choose to do a brand new division in the mid-range. And the first problem you have is, what do you call it?
Right.
So they don't know yet.
Let's name it after the least bad guy in the organization.
Yeah, pretty
The
much.
only good Ford is the dead one, Ross.
They can't think of a good name for it. They truly cannot. They hire this Don Draper-ass ad agency called Foot, Cone, and Belding.
That's not real.
And Foot, Cone,
I've
and
done that
Belding.
in my bedroom.
Oh my god.
Ew.
Foot, Cone, and Belding. Don Draper is out of the office at that moment, and so they bring them back a list of 6,000 potential names for this division, to which Ford go, we only wanted one. At one point, the ad agency hire guys to stand outside movie theaters trying to listen for words people like saying. That's how desperate they are for inspiration.
I mean, Coke did that with OK Soda. They were just like, oh, well, OK is a super recognized name in the worldwide, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to make a citrus soda that tastes like nutsack, and no one's going to like it. Your ironic marketing makes me want to kill myself.
Yeah.
The new Ford fuck.
one thing they try to do is they hired this woman on the right. This is an old photo from the 20s. She was ancient by this point. A modernist poet called Marianne Moore. And she has
out of here.
This incredible, quite flirtatious set of letters with a sort of mid-level Ford employee called Robert Young, until eventually he ditches her, stops replying, leaves her on red, and goes to join the Coast Guard. But she, over the course of about 2 years, she sends him increasingly unprompted suggestions for what to name this new division. I have a list. The list is way too long because I love all of them. It was a chore trying to pare these down, so I'm just going to read into the record here some of Marianne Moore's potential names for Ford's new mid-range division. Utopian Turtle Top.
Yes.
Varsity Stroke.
What?
I've done that.
Pastellagram.
That's a rowing reference.
Ross, you wanna come over?
Good lord.
Astronaut with an A.
Oh, astronaut's kind of sick.
Yes.
Symmetromatic.
Never mind.
Hurricane Acceptor.
I like the idea that these were in racy letters that are just like, I can't wait for you to fuck the farts out of my ass. And also
by the way, the new division should be called Thunder Blender.
Oh yeah,
Thunder Blender. That sounds like a Cleveland steamer.
Yeah, giving her
this Sunday at the Municipal Arena, the Thunder Blender. You'll pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Resilient Bullet, Intelligent Bullet, Intelligent Whale.
Those are what they used on Kennedy.
in one of her Latin moods, Andante con moto, Magigravure, Turbo Talk.
Okay, that one goes hard.
Anticipator.
That's not bad for a turbo diesel. That actually works.
Yes. Aerotere. The Impeccable. And then my personal favorite, which is why I saved it for last, Mongoose Civique.
Yes.
Okay.
They should have sent a poet, truly. You could have been driving around in a Mongoose Civique to this day.
I mean, the Mangusta was literally it's mongoose, and that was because mongooses can kill cobras.
Yeah,
that's true, isn't it? Fuck.
Someone did it.
Yeah.
And also, Civic was a good name.
Yeah, as we learned. Dude, Tommaso, you left us too soon.
Should have done Mongoose Civique. Meanwhile, the guys on the left are sitting around getting all of these increasingly weird letters and sort of going
and stroking themselves to it. Yes,
and panicking.
We have ideas and we don't have to pay for them.
No, these are all too weird. There's too much shit going on here.
You're weird.
because they're all company men, right?
Yeah.
They all love the Fords. They all love Henry Ford. And but like the name Ford is already taken. What's the next best thing? What's the most sycophantic thing you can imagine? Well, how about the first name of his son, Edsel Ford?
Oh, that's unappealing.
It's an unpleasant word to say. It's meaningful to Ford guys and no one else. Also, Henry Ford hated his son in a sort of like there will be blood sort of way, because Edsel Ford, like all the shit in Detroit that's like the Ford, cultural foundation for the arts or whatever, all of that was Edsel. Henry Ford didn't give a shit about that. He just wanted to publish his little anti-Semitic newsletters.
Edsel also gave the time of day to the unions. Edsel, and this was like one of those things that really set some of these guys of that era off. It was sort of like Walt Disney, who I believe disowned everyone who supported the animators union. Ford was very much the same way, except Ward Kimball. But that's a story for a different day.
So Edsel Ford is dead at this point. He died really young because of his father's hate, possibly. He's sort of like a Jay Gatsby figure.
Sort of irradiated by his father's hate.
Yeah. Henry Ford spent a lot of the last part of his life trying to kill his son with his mind, and apparently triumphed eventually.
Yes.
And so Edsel's son, Henry Ford II, Henry Ford I's grandson, he's on the left in this picture here. He's on the board. He hates the idea of naming it after his dad. He thinks he's weirded out by it. He thinks his dad would have been weirded out by it, but it doesn't matter. The board of like sort of sycophants outvotes him, and they pick the name Edsel, which, as they admit, it fails somewhat of the resonance, gaiety, and zest we were seeking, but it has a personal dignity and meaning to many of us here. And so all of the branding for this shit is complete with a big E dish on the table there.
So I'm thinking more beautiful names here, like no, I'm not even gonna say them because I know people who are named all of them. Never mind.
Mongoose Civic.
They should have called it Victoria.
Next slide, please.
Yeah, they should have got. I don't know why there are more trans marketers. We have to fucking name ourselves every fucking time. Why don't they just have us come up with names and stuff? My God.
I literally named myself Alice. I don't have a lot of imagination in terms of naming stuff. So
surprising number of trans women in Philly named June, apparently.
No.
So they do early market research. So early, in fact, that the name market research hasn't been invented yet. It's still called motivational research.
No.
And they do a lot of this. Like, they buy all the research they can. And the idea is, the guy they're trying to sell it to, the Edsel has to be the smart car for young executives on his way up. The car's elegance and classiness have to be the reason why junior grey flannel suitors would choose it over Pontiacs and Dodgers, brackets, too working class, Chevrolets, brackets, too boring, and other Fords, brackets, too brash. And they're competing directly against Oldsmobile, which is the automobile choice of the adventurous man in middle age, apparently. So all of the little typologies of all of these little brands at this point. And
I feel like this market may be too niche.
Yeah, for sure.
There's like also 38 guys in Cleveland, Ohio. They're like, we're selling you this car.
Yeah.
Here's Edsel for you 38 people.
Go fuck yourself.
Edsel. The other thing is they spend a shitload of money on the research, and then they spend a shitload more money on marketing the fact that they've done the research. So the whole few years before they even announce anything, they're like, the new Ford division is coming. We're not going to tell you anything yet, except we have hired our nation's brightest minds.
Here's where you have me on the episode, right? This has not changed.
Yeah.
At all. So I think something that's kind of crucial that I wish so bad I could talk more openly about. This is a bonus episode, so why the fuck not, right? But when I go to automotive events,